Hello, Stampers. I'm Teresa Conway-Hayes in Meridian, Idaho, and I'm here with you for another episode of Live Stampin' with Teresa. That's me. And so before I get started, I'm going to check to make sure that the live feed is working. Yep, looks good. Okay, so I was going to do two things. I was going to play with this beautiful Flowering Foils DSP and the ink daubers and just play with that and see what that looks like. And then I was going to make a card, and I don't know if I can show it to you. So I upgraded my Switcher Studio today, and I made sure that I had the latest version of the iOS for the iPad, and Switcher Studio isn't working right. So that's why I wanted to make sure that the live feed was working okay, because I can't switch around my assets. So I can't show you the card that I was going to make. I'll go ahead and click off of that. And let me go ahead and load my comments. I'm a little bit skeptical as to what will work and what won't work at this point. But we will move forward. As it says in the description of this episode, today is World Autistic Day, or Awareness of Autism, and so this episode is in honor of that, and the card that I was going to make was going to be in honor of that. So usually I still have ink on my daubers from the last time that I used them, so I don't automatically put ink on my daubers when I go to use them again the next time. So I'm going to take this lovely lipstick, and I'm just going to color in right here in the center. And there is a little bit of lovely lipstick on here, but not a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my lovely lipstick pad. And before I get started, I'm going to grab my gorgeous grape. And I'm going to give that a try. Okay, there's nothing on that one. Let's try Night of Navy. Oh yes, there's Night of Navy on here. So this is interesting because on each one of these flowers, one of the petals belongs to one of the other flowers. So I think what I'm going to do is just color half of the flower when it belongs. Well, that's not going to work though, because like if it's as dark as Night of Navy, the lighter color won't show up. So the darker color is going to take over. All right. So now let's find one or two more colors that will work. Let's try a pretty green. Flowers aren't normally green. Maybe there are some flowers that are green. So let's not try green. Let's try another purple. That's Highland Heather, and there's nothing on there either. But I am going to grab the Highland Heather and the Night of Navy, and let's go with Coastal Cabana. Okay, so Coastal Cabana should be right about here. Okay, so we'll move this over to the side. Coastal Cabana, Night of Navy, gorgeous grape. By the way, oh, I did the March code, but guess what? We're on April 2nd. You probably already knew that. And I knew that too, but it's called lack of focus, I think is what that's called. So we're going to use the same code for April as we used for March. And so we'll just call this the March-April code. Or actually, once I get a chance to change this, this will be called the April code. Now, for anybody who shows up after I've said that, I'm going to go ahead and make as neat of an edit to this as I possibly can, if my marker will work. And this is April. This will be my temporary edit because I can do things on the fly. April code. There we go. All right, so let's open these up and see what this paper is going to look like after we're done. And there was some pretty coastal cabana on here. Yeah, that's going to be pretty. Now we need some gorgeous grape. Nope, I'm using Highland Heather. So we'll put that over here. And so I'm going to change my mind about trying to just do like one flower at a time. And I'm going to do ones, just to, oh, did you see that? I just put the sponge, the lovely lipstick into the Highland Heather. Okay, now I gotta make sure there's no purple on here. Looks pretty good. Can't talk and dab at the same time. I can't do much of anything simultaneously. Oh, this is going to be pretty. Super, super pretty. So I think I started to talk about it and then I got distracted. In the description, it talks about how this flowering foils is no longer available because it was from the third release of the celebration brochure, and the celebration brochure offer ended March 31st. So the 2020 mini catalog is still available until June. And if you need one of these catalogs, please let me know. But yeah, so it shows here that the 2020 catalog is available until June 2nd. So just PM me if you're interested in one of these catalogs. Very pretty. Looks like we have one viewer here. Viewer, please feel free to say hi and tell me where you're from. And don't forget to read the description because there's a special offer mentioned in the description. And I'm not going to worry about the fact that some of these are white. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. So now let's see what we can do with this layer on a card. So I'm going to mount this layer on black. And then I'll use a white, Whisper White card base. Wait, I changed my mind. I'm actually going to use gray granite and then black. Wait, I'm not going to use gray granite, I'm going to use foil. As I continue to look at it, I continue to change my mind. Nope, that foil is not big enough. And I want the foil to at least be 4 inches. So yeah, that's less than 4 inches. Okay, that's not the piece I'm going to use. now we have to cut that down, but first I'm going to find my black card base, and it doesn't look like I have any black card bases cut or put together, pre-prepared. Okay, this is why I bought some black cardstock the other day, because I didn't have any full 8.5 by 11 pieces. I will be right back. I have a big tote in the bottom of the closet over there that has all of my backup cardstock, because my file drawer down here will only hold so much, or I would put it all in there. So it's 6:06 here in Meridian, Idaho. Supper time. What are you all having for supper tonight? I had a late lunch, so I'm going to be okay until I finish with this. So I'm going to cut this full sheet of cardstock in half at 5.5. And I like to do a couple at a time when I do this. Now I'm going to score these at 4 1/4. And I won't spend all this time preparing cardstock, because that's not what you're here for. You're here to watch me make a card. Okay, so this is going to go on there, and then this is going to layer on there. So this is our second layer. So it's going to be 5 by 3 1/4. Okay, now what I like to do is I like to cut out the middle, and I'm going to use that with the ornate frames. I didn't have my puzzle pieces pulled out, and I'm going to need that. Okay, I'm not finding what I need. So the reason why I like to cut the foil out in the middle is because I like to try and save some of it. So I can also do that by using this. So, and I don't like to do that because I'm afraid I'll do it wrong. If I weren't on a live, that'd be different. I don't want to waste the whole thing to try and save a little. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted. First, I want to burnish that because that's bothering me. And when I do this, I do just a decent bead of glue all the way around the edge. By the way, for those of you who watch me regularly, have seen a few of my videos, you may notice that the camera is positioned a little bit different than usual. I'm trying a new setup with my Archon stand. So I extended it as tall as it would go, and then I have it all the way in front of me, and the camera is directly down on my workplace. So in an attempt to make it look just perfectly right there in your face, instead of crooked and that sort of thing. So I'm always trying to make these videos better. Oh boy. Oh, that's set up fast. So it wasn't enough glue, because it didn't give me any wiggle room at all. But that's okay, because I can fix that. If I want it to look what I think looks a little bit more perfect, I could just make the card a little bit smaller than an actual 5.5 by 4, 8.5 by 11, 4 1/4. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller so that it pretty much looks the same all the way around, because I didn't get any wiggle room. Now it looks pretty perfect to me. So my card's a little bit smaller than I usually make them, you know, that much smaller, but that's okay. Doesn't hurt anything. Now I'm going to put this background piece on. And I'm going to bring that up a little bit because the glue is showing through here. And it will do that on foil if you get too much glue on there. So I guess it's good that I didn't put more glue than that on there. Now this bead, I'm going to be sure to have it more towards the center because I don't want this glue to ooze out onto the foil. I don't like it when glue oozes out onto the foil. Of course, I don't like glue on my fingers either. Okay. Oh, there went my iPod. Alright, this is coming together. Just looking if we have any pretty things that would look nice on this. Nope. Almost, but that petal pink doesn't really look good on there. Okay, so none of my possibles. I like to call things like this my possibles. Ooh, but I've got some more over here. Okay, now we're getting closer. These are some leftovers from the kit that I can't remember what it's called right now. Oh yeah, that looks good. I like that a lot. I like the way that turned out. So this is on black cardstock, so I will put a white insert. And that's just scraps. just use some double-sided tape for the insert. And we did all of that without even using a stamp set. We just used some DSP on some different cardstock. We used some extras from a kit. And trust me, whenever you purchase a kit from Stampin' Up, you're going to have extras. So you will have this accumulation of fun stuff that you can use on other cards. And if you're traveling or something, this is a super easy way to put together a card. So you would have, a bunch of, my Easter cards are in the front here. You would have a bunch of card bases available for you to choose from. And then you would just have some pre-cut layers. I always have pre-cut layer 1. So once I trim this down, and when I use my mini trimmer, I use my templates to trim it down. So there's my 4 by 5 1/4 template. I did it on colors, but I don't have the colors memorized, so I have to look at my label. So I just line this up. And now I have a layer. And so I keep my layers in a container all by themselves, or I put them in like a Ziploc bag for when I'm traveling and I want to have all this stuff ready to make a card, say in a hotel room or at a conference or something like that. Because I usually like to stamp wherever I go. So that's what I had for you today in that respect. We're already at 35 minutes. So even though I did not turn this into a card to celebrate autism specifically, part of that is because I didn't have the stamp set that I really wanted to use for this. So we could put celebrate today, and then we could write in there, celebrate autism, because we are all individual people, and we need a variety of individuals to make the world what it is. Even when you live in a third world country and you don't have the freedoms that you have as a citizen of the United States, or maybe some other countries feel like they celebrate the same freedoms that we do. I don't know. Unfortunately, I'm not a world traveler. But for those people who are more limited with their freedoms, they still are individuals, and I'm sure their individuality shines through. So whether you have special needs, or you're maybe oppressed, or just introverted, we're still special in any way that we do things. So this is really pretty when you move it around. It has a pretty glitter to it. And so no one went ahead and typed in the comments the offer that I gave in the description, but it's late and maybe everybody's eating dinner, or they're getting ready for bed, sitting down in front of the TV to relax for their day. So the first person that writes in the comments what I offered in the description, I'm not going to tell you what it is, you're going to have to go find it and read it. the first person that writes that in the comments will get that special offer. So thanks for taking time to listen to my video, watch my video, to make a card with me. I would love to make cards with more people, and we can do that online via Zoom. So if that's something you would like to do, let me know in the comments that you would like to have a Zoom meeting. We can do it with just one-on-one. We can do it with a group of people. It's a lot of fun. All you have to do is you need a tripod because you can't hold your phone and create a card at the same time. So you just need something that's going to hold your phone so that you can show yourself first if you want to. You don't have to. Obviously, I'm not showing myself and haven't through this whole video. But if you could show your desktop so that we could stamp together. We can stamp making the same card. I can show you how to make it, and you can make it while I am, or you can make your own card and I'll make my own card. The sky's the limit. I'm very flexible, and it just seems like a fun thing to do. So I'm also going to post this video to YouTube. So if you are watching this video on YouTube, same offer for you, let me know. And we will see you again next time. Have a good evening. Goodbye.